What's up, guys? After a night of passion, Jillian says goodbye to her boyfriend Spencer, an astronaut who is leaving on a space mission. The next day, Jillian watches the rocket launch and notices the windows shaking. Sometime later, Jillian is teaching the class where she is a teacher when she is suddenly interrupted by a call from NASA. They connect her to the rocket so she and Spencer can exchange a few words. After work, Jillian starts preparing dinner at home with her sister Nan. Suddenly, she accidentally cuts her finger while seeing on the news that the rocket suffered an accident. At that moment, a NASA employee named Reese arrives to pick her up, explaining that no one knows if the astronauts are alive. At NASA, Jillian hugs Natalie, the wife of the other astronaut on Spencer's mission. And soon it is confirmed that the astronauts are alive, and NASA is in the process of bringing them back. Apparently, they were doing repairs outside the rocket when there was an explosion and they lost contact for 2 minutes. The astronauts were left drifting behind the ship for a few moments until NASA turned the ship 180 degrees to rescue them. On a big screen, they broadcast the ship's landing to confirm the men are okay. Later at the hospital, Jillian watches her unconscious husband, while the doctor confirms that his vital signs are normal and he suffered no brain damage, but they can only wait for him to wake up. However, Natalie's husband, Alex, is an older man, and his heart might not withstand the stress of the accident. The next morning, Spencer finally wakes up and is happy to reunite with Jillian. Meanwhile, Alex talks about the incident while sleeping, revealing they saw something before the explosion. Suddenly, he wakes up and sees Natalie at the window before starting to have a seizure. Doctors rush to sedate him, but this ends up causing a heart attack. For a moment, it looks like he is dead, but the doctors revive him with a defibrillator. When Natalie turns around, she realizes Spencer and Jillian watched everything too. A few days later, the astronauts receive an award during a special event. Jillian talks to Natalie, who comments that it's strange their husbands never talk about the accident, almost as if it never happened. After the event, Spencer tells Jillian he quit his job as an astronaut and accepted an executive position at an aerospace company. This company is in New York, so they will have to move there, which surprises Jillian because Spencer hates big cities. She is sad to lose her friend and her job, but agrees to do it to support her husband. As the couples talk, Reese watches them from afar. Sometime later, the students throw a small farewell party for Jillian, and that night, the couple's friends surprise them with a big celebration. Jillian notices Alex looks uncomfortable and keeps arguing with Natalie. He kisses her aggressively against her will, but when she pushes him away, he starts coughing blood. Desperate, Alex runs through the party looking for Spencer, but suddenly collapses and dies on top of a table. The next day, NASA holds a press conference to discuss Alex's death. Reporters want to know if this is related to the space accident and if Spencer is also in danger, but a NASA doctor assures that all tests indicate Spencer is perfectly healthy and Alex's death is unrelated to the mission. During the funeral, Jillian tries to console her friend. However, Natalie insists on commenting on Alex's strange behavior since returning from space. Apparently, they spoke to Alex every night, and when Jillian asks who they are, Natalie points to the radio. She also says Alex is hiding inside her. Assuming this nonsense is a consequence of trauma, Jillian decides to give Natalie some time alone. Minutes later, the lights flicker and everyone hears a scream. Jillian, Spencer, and Reese follow the noise and find a girl screaming upon seeing Natalie's body in the shower. She took her own life using the radio. A few days later, Jillian and Spencer are settling into New York. During a party organized by Spencer's boss, Jillian feels out of place amidst all those rich people she doesn't know. Over time, she manages to befriend Shelley, the boss's wife. Moments later, Jillian needs a break because she is drunk. When Spencer comes to check on her, she finally asks about the accident. At first, he refuses to answer, but Jillian insists. So, he takes her to a private place and starts describing how dark and cold it was after the explosion while touching her and trying to cheer her up. He says he almost died that day, but thinking of Jillian helped him survive. The couple starts making out against the wall and then continues the moment at home. Jillian doesn't enjoy it much because he is being very rough, something that never happened before. In the middle of the night, Jillian wakes up alone in bed. She goes looking for Spencer and finds him listening to the radio, which is only playing static. When she calls his name, Spencer immediately switches to a music station. He also apologizes for being rough, blaming the alcohol. After that, Jillian starts a new job at a school, but can't shake the feeling that something is wrong. Spencer comes home late all the time, and they barely see each other. Sometime later at school, Jillian takes a test during break and discovers she is pregnant. However, she isn't happy and continues to be plagued by the same strange sensation. One night, Jillian and Spencer have dinner with his boss, who talks about mysterious signals in space that humans can't hear and about building a ship to find them. Most of the conversation is about technical space stuff Jillian doesn't understand, which makes her continue feeling out of place. When the couple has a moment alone, Jillian confesses how uncomfortable she feels around these people and comments that Spencer doesn't sound like himself when talking business. He keeps asking if she is hiding something. So she finally tells him she is pregnant, and Spencer gets very happy. The next day they visit an obstetrician and are surprised to learn they are having twins. When Jillian has a moment alone with the doctor, she confesses that after her parents died, she had hallucinations of her loved ones' dead bodies, and sometimes even her own. Over time, she got treatment and got better, but is worried the pregnancy might bring that back. The doctor reassures her, saying everything will be fine as long as she has people to support her. That night, Jillian dreams of Natalie's death, but sees her own body in the shower. Spencer wakes her up and comforts her, giving her a bath. He says the twins will be as beautiful as their mother and pilots like their father. From then on, Jillian starts attending meetings of a support group for women expecting twins. They all mention how their husbands make no effort to understand what they are going through. At home, Jillian frequently checks the radio to confirm it is playing music and not static, which makes her calmer. A few months later, at a baby store, Jillian is approached by a very nervous Reese. He explains he has been analyzing Spencer's files and noticed some peculiarities, like the fact that his signature changed and the numbers on the new medical exams don't match the ones from before the trip. Jillian asks if NASA sent him, and Reese ends up admitting he was fired because the company thought he had lost his mind. Getting scared, Jillian tries to get away from Reese, but he follows her and reveals that Natalie was pregnant when she died. Now that he has Jillian's attention, Reese continues to speak. Spencer and Alex's suits should have recorders, but those 2 minutes are silent. Not to mention they were trained to deal with explosions. Something happened that the astronauts were not prepared for. Reese asks if Jillian is sure Spencer is really her old husband and hands her a tape. The moment is interrupted by a policeman who holds Reese while Jillian flees home. Jillian listens to the recording, which ends when Alex and Spencer see something moving towards them. Scared, Jillian destroys the tape and throws it in the trash. Sometime later, Nan visits Jillian and hears what happened. Nan thinks they should tell Spencer, so he contacts NASA, but Jillian asks her to keep it a secret. That night, Spencer and the sisters go to a restaurant, but Jillian isn't feeling well and Spencer agrees to go home. Later, in the apartment, Jillian can't sleep. She talks to Spencer and finds out Nan went out to have fun alone, but she can't remember the last time she had a special moment with Spencer. When Jillian asks if he thinks about Alex and Natalie, Spencer insists they should leave the past behind and move on to be happy. The next day, Jillian calls Reese to ask for more details and finds out Natalie was also expecting twins. Jillian has a breakdown while explaining she doesn't know if the baby's father is the old Spencer or the new one. Reese doesn't want to talk much on the phone, so they agree to meet. When Jillian leaves the subway station, she is shocked to see Spencer approaching Reese and has to hide. The men talk for a while, and Spencer drags Reese to the nearest cafe. Reese manages to drop his bag for Jillian, but before she can grab it, Spencer picks it up first. Then Jillian goes back home and fights with Nan, accusing her of telling Spencer about Reese. Nan swears she didn't do it, and leaves the apartment annoyed. Furious, Jillian throws a glass at the radio. Then she tries to call the hotel where Reese is staying, but the receptionist says the room is empty. The next time she goes to work, Jillian finds a letter from Reese with a key to a storage unit, asking her to be careful. After work, Jillian goes to the storage unit and finds several newspaper articles about Spencer. There are also photos taken by Reese while following Spencer around the city, and a tape with Jillian's name on it. When she grabs the tape, the power goes out, and she starts hearing someone running through the hallways. Scared, Jillian starts desperately looking for the exit and screams when she bumps into someone, but it's just another customer turning the power back on. When she gets home, Jillian watches the tape. Reese appears on screen saying that if she is watching this, it means he is dead. Next, he shows an analysis of the accident recording. 2 different lines represent Alex and Spencer, but there is a mysterious third line that at first looks like static. Reese managed to fix the static and translate it. Then a shocked Jillian hears an alien voice mixed with the noise. He is certain that Spencer and Alex's bodies were taken over by aliens, and that the ship Spencer is building with the new company will bring more aliens to Earth. The ship's plans show it will have two computers in the cockpit connected to each other, which means the twins are destined to be the pilots. Suddenly, Jillian is surprised by Spencer's arrival, but fortunately the recording has already ended. Spencer brought a movie for them to watch together, and when he is about to put it in the player, he finds Reese's tape. Jillian convinces him it's just a video with pregnancy tips, and Spencer puts it aside. While they watch the movie, Jillian tries to ask Spencer about his work project, but he just says it was a contract for a client, and he didn't do much. The couple falls asleep on the sofa, and Spencer dreams about the mission. He and Alex were working quietly when suddenly Alex started screaming about something approaching, leaving Spencer paralyzed. Jillian ends up having the same dream, but when they wake up, Spencer says he didn't dream anything. The next day, Jillian meets with Shelley, who gives her a medicine that can force a miscarriage. Shelley says it will look natural and no one will suspect anything. When Jillian gets home, she hesitates and ends up having a breakdown, deciding not to take the medicine. Suddenly, she sees an image of the twins and falls to the floor in unbearable pain, thinking the babies are punishing her. Spencer arrives and asks what she was going to do to the babies, making her realize the twins communicated with him. Jillian tries to explain she wasn't going to do anything, but Spencer slaps her. Terrified, Jillian tries to flee, but Spencer blocks the way, begging her to talk about it. At that moment, she feels another sharp pain in her belly, so intense it makes her fall down the stairs. Sometime later, Jillian wakes up in an operating room and sees Spencer for a second before falling asleep again. The next time she wakes up, she is in a hospital room, and Spencer tells her to stay quiet. The babies are fine, so for now they will forget about the abortion pills. Later, when Nan comes to visit her, Jillian tries to tell her something is wrong and that Spencer is inside her, but she falls asleep in the middle of the conversation. That night, Spencer reminds Jillian that if the doctors hear about her dark thoughts, they will commit her. He keeps touching her belly and saying he is there because they are one. Later at home, Nan finds Spencer going through Reese's bag and gets suspicious, but he attacks her. While Nan screams in pain, Jillian hears it and runs down, finding her sister dead on the floor. However, at that moment, she wakes up in the hospital. Thinking the nightmare was an omen, Jillian escapes the hospital before Spencer arrives. She takes a taxi but thinks another car is following her, so she runs out and takes the subway. During the trip, she keeps having visions of everything that happened. When Jillian leaves the station, she finds Spencer waiting for her and starts running. Spencer immediately follows her home, but she makes sure to get in the elevator alone. He enters the elevator next to hers, and Jillian is terrified because she can feel him through the walls. When she reaches the apartment, she blocks the door with furniture and checks every room, but doesn't find Nan anywhere. Spencer pushes the door until he manages to get in and finds Jillian putting the radio in the water to try to kill herself. He screams at her, trying to make her change her mind, but is afraid to get close because of the water on the floor. At that moment, Jillian sees small injuries on Spencer's hand and remembers Nan tried to defend herself in her vision, which confirms he killed her sister. When she confronts him, the man finally admits he killed the real Spencer and Nan. Before announcing that he lives in Jillian's belly, using the power that connects him to the twins, he starts pulling Jillian closer to him. Suddenly, a lot of water starts falling from the ceiling because Jillian turned on all the taps in the apartment. Since she is sitting on a stool, she only needs to lift her feet before finally turning on the radio, electrocuting Spencer. As all the light bulbs explode above them, the alien leaves Spencer's body and enters Jillian's through her eyes, forcing her to turn off the radio while Spencer drops dead. A few years later, Jillian is married to another pilot and living under a new name in the suburbs. The twins are healthy and attend school normally, but there is something dark about them. Jillian says they will be pilots like their father, and when her husband tries to say he is the stepfather, she corrects him saying he is their father now, thus ending The Astronaut's Wife, sci-fi and drama movie from 1999. And I'll see you in the next video. This was a summary of full movies. Thanks. Peace out.